Welcome to this explainer. Okay, let's dive right into this. Today, we're exploring one of the most vital, but honestly, completely unseen career paths in the UK right now. We're talking about the hidden world of grant and compliance administration. Seriously, this is the absolute bedrock of how thousands of incredible projects, charities, and research initiatives actually manage to keep the lights on. Without the dedicated folks doing this very specific work, the whole system of funding, it literally grinds to a halt. So, have you ever wondered who actually keeps all that funding safe? Think about it. There are millions of pounds moving across the UK every single day. Whether it's government money flowing into your local community center or a massive charitable trust funding some cutting-edge medical research, somebody has to be accountable, right? Who is actually responsible for making sure all that money reaches the right place properly, doesn't get misused, and, crucially, doesn't completely fail those intense audits down the line? Well, I'll tell you, it's not the big picture visionary directors or the scientists in the labs. Nope, it's the grant and compliance administrator. They are the unsung heroes here. They act like the ultimate shield for that money, making absolutely sure that every promise made on paper actually becomes a reality. Let's move to what this job actually involves and see how this builds into the daily reality. Because, it's one thing to understand the grand purpose of a role, but what are you actually doing on a random Tuesday morning? Well, a massive chunk of this work is highly detail-oriented, and you've got to be intensely proactive. You're constantly checking documents for completeness. You're updating trackers and spreadsheets. And yeah, that might sound a bit routine, but think about it. A single missed deadline on a £1 million grant tracker could literally mean a vital community project has to shut its doors. No pressure, right? You're also a crucial partner in prepping grant applications, making absolutely sure the evidence perfectly matches the funder's incredibly strict rules. And then, the chasing. Oh, you'll be doing a lot of chasing for missing information. Imagine you're trying to finalize an agreement, but the applicant's public liability insurance is out of date. They're busy running their project, they keep forgetting to send it, so you have to be that persistent, professional voice following up until you actually have that piece of paper in your hands. The whole goal here is keeping records completely tidy and audit-ready at all times. You're producing reports, and most importantly, you're the one flagging risks or expired documents long before they snowball into full-blown crises. It's all about preventing the fire, not fighting it. And that brings us to the grit and the glory. Because let's be honest about the contrasts here. The work can definitely be gritty and repetitive, but that is perfectly balanced by the incredible impact of the role. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it contrasts the tedious reality with the massive reward. Like any honest career guide, we have to look at the whole picture. There's definitely grit. You're going to do a lot of data entry. You'll be strictly managing file naming conventions and version control, like constant version control. You will absolutely find yourself chasing the exact same piece of paperwork multiple times from people who just forgot to hit send. And you'll spend a lot of time carefully reading incredibly dense guidance documents. But the payoff for all that repetitive work, that's the glory. Why do you do it? Because you are directly helping funding reach the right place. You are that crucial safety net preventing minor administrative slip-ups from turning into catastrophic funding retractions. At the end of the day, you get this deep satisfaction of being the person who keeps everything accurate, calm, and totally under control. When the auditors show up and your organization passes with flying colors, yeah, that is entirely down to the meticulous groundwork you put in every single day. So is this role for you? Let's map out your skills. I want you to take a second and reflect on your own professional background here. You might be sitting there wondering if you even have the right background for this kind of rigorous work. Well, you might actually be surprised by how directly your past experience applies, because several different career paths converge right into grant administration. If you're a detail-focused, organized, patient person, this is for you. Let's say you come from an office or admin background. You already know how to get records right and maintain complex systems. Those foundational skills transfer incredibly well. What if you have a project support background? Your brain is already wired to spot missing details and understand exactly how one tiny missing piece messes up a huge timeline. And here's the surprising one. A customer-facing background is absolute gold. Why? Because you have developed immense patience. Think about dealing with frustrated customers in retail or hospitality. That translates perfectly into handling stressed-out funding applicants who are confused by complex rules. You already know how to politely but firmly chase people, communicate clearly, and de-escalate tension without losing your cool. If you naturally gravitate toward getting things right, these backgrounds are literally the perfect launchpad into this career. Moving on to AI, your new assistant. This is where we look at how modern technology is stepping in to take away the drudgery. This brilliantly illustrates how the landscape is changing. AI is now perfectly capable of acting as your ultimate administrative assistant. It can instantly draft those routine chase-up emails we just talked about. It can take a 70-page, incredibly dense guidance document and accurately summarize it into plain English reminders for your team. It can even turn your rough meeting notes into comprehensive checklists. It completely removes the heavy lifting. But, and this is a massive but, the final compliance decisions, the nuanced human judgment, you cannot outsource that to a machine. Figuring out whether a piece of evidence actually meets the true spirit of the funder's strict rules requires a human mind. When the regulators come knocking, the ultimate accountability rests with you, not an algorithm. AI is just the powerful tool. You are the skilled professional exercising the absolutely irreplaceable judgment that keeps that funding safe.
So the crucial point is, how do you turn these transferable skills into a stable, rewarding career path? If you're wondering how to take everything we've talked about and put it into practice, well, today was really just a taster. If you want to see if this is truly the right fit for you, you've got to experience the daily reality for yourself. You can access the full interactive course, which actually gives you a completion certificate to boost your CV over at LELAIL. All you have to do is ask LELAIL to start the Grant and Compliance Administrator Taster course. Just visit LELAIL.com to begin. It's a fantastic, completely risk-free way to test drive these tasks and see if your attention to detail is ready for the challenge.
So I'll leave you with this. Are you ready to become the vital link that turns chaos into strict compliance? Every single organization dealing with funding desperately needs someone who can bring order, accuracy, and security to their operations. If you're that detail-oriented, patient problem solver we talked about, this could be an incredibly rewarding path. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I highly encourage you to go test your skills and check out that taster course today.